and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I apologize for being I want to explain it in front of the group.
Freddie.
So I was thinking I could see school buses flashing
You didn't even stop and get a coffee.
I didn't. Approval of the minutes of our January 27th meeting.
Danielle abstained since I wasn't here.
All right. Anybody want to make a motion
Move
to
for approval of the
them?
minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Public comments. Anybody out there from the public that wants to say something? Ed, good morning. Outreach coordinators report.
All
Amy,
right, good morning.
thank you.
So we are coming up on the end of the school year, and it's been another really good school year. We just finished our shoe collection, and we had 20 schools that participated, and we took in about over 3,300 pairs of shoes between all of them. One school at about, Guilford Elementary by itself brought in 796 pair of shoes. So that was pretty amazing. North Salem, little bitty North Salem brought 276, and South Elementary, who's equally pretty small, 361 pair. So everybody did a great job. Our volunteers from Changing Footprints came and got all the shoes and hefted all those bags, and even one that they forgot, they came back and got it yesterday, so
Impressive.
we love them. Katie and I, between the two of us this year, had about 8,400 in-person classroom visits. Our STEM kids served over 9,400 students. Our book bins 240 students for a total of 18,147 students total. So, and I thought you might be interested to see who we're seeing the most. Avon, we're in the classrooms the most. Brownsburg is second, Plainfield right behind them. STEM Kids, Brownsburg is definitely over and beyond everybody else. So everybody's doing well.
Amy, remind us again of the ages of the age groups in the schools that you're primarily seeing.
Primarily K through 6.
Do anything at the high school level at all?
High school, not so much. They are so specific about their standards and what they have to cover that they don't have a lot of time.
Thank you.
What triggers the in-class visits? Are you reaching out to them? Are they reaching
Yes.
back out to you?
At the beginning of the year, we send out a newsletter that lists our programs. Our website has all of our programs on it by grade level, and they can see the standards that correlate to our programs. And a lot of it, honestly, is word of mouth. We'll get one teacher in a grade level, somebody else will say, hey, we had them in, it's free. And that's really how we're seeing most people.
Any other questions for Amy? Anything else?
Nope, that was it, thank you.
Ben, director's report.
All right, good morning. Thanks for being here. Amy and Katie do an awesome job and really set the standard statewide. I'm a little biased, but as far as youth education for solid waste and recycling districts, top of the class for these two. So, yes. I'll start with a director's report going over our program updates. These sheets in your packet. We are kicking off our Talks Away Day season this Saturday at the fairgrounds. We'll be there 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. You might remember that we usually start our Talks Away Day events in Brownsburg, but these have become a little trickier to schedule year over year, and the way the schedule worked out this way, we needed to start in Danville first, and then we'll go to Brownsburg May 30th. So we're doing 2 Talks Away days in May. Thankfully, there's 5 Saturdays, so we've been able to build a little space in between them this time. And we're fielding the usual calls and emails and direct messages. Hey, can I bring this? What can I bring? We're set to go. We expect 800 to 900 folks Saturday at the fairgrounds, and probably the same number in Brownsburg at the end of the month. So, and just one note about this, it doesn't show up on these charts, but if we look back at our Talks Away Day participation since 2015, in 2014 is when we moved to 5 Talks Away days. 2015 until now, we really have kind of hit a plateau of the number of folks we're serving, around 4,100, 4,200 per year through the Talks Away Day program, and I think we are just maxing out this model, and that's kind of what we talked about with as we think about moving to a permanent facility. But we're teeing it up for another year, and we'll serve those that show up and do our best. So, Yard Waste Recycling Centers open for the season April 3rd. We have 2 new attendants working in Plainfield. Actually, one of those gentlemen worked 2021 season for us and has come back. But so far, so good. The sites have been very busy. Just like last night, feels like it's been an extra windy and stormy spring. So the material is coming in. We did roll out the price increase that the board approved last fall. We've had a little bit of grumbling, but overall, people are understanding. They're very thankful for the service, and yeah, we're doing fine. On average for April, we average around 600. Last year we had 934 visits. I expect we'll be up over 900 again for this month. Today is the last day of business for the yard waste sites for the month of April. So, and one thing that we have talked about is potentially beginning to accept credit and debit cards at the yard waste sites. And with the help of Doug Morris back there in the corner, we've tried to figure out how to do that and do it to a place where our attendants are comfortable, because I know at least one of them does not use a credit or debit card herself. So, but I think last week with Doug's help, we've landed on a possible solution. That's with a organization called PayGov that is in use in, I think, a few places here in the county for county government and across the state and really across the nation. And what we'll likely end up doing is having a QR code available at the sites that folks that want to pay with a card can scan with their smartphone, put in their payment information, show our attendant, here's my receipt, and then our attendants don't have to handle cards. We don't have to worry about having a terminal software, a tablet computer, reliable internet, any of that. Again, we've kind of landed.
Pretty good solution.
I know.
It's semi-self-service, but
Yeah.
I like it.
We after spinning on it for a while, thanks to Doug for making that connection. So unless there are objections, we're gonna try to roll that out here the next.
What are the fees for that service?
Good question. So the district doesn't pay any of the fees. They're all on the customer side, and I believe that is a requirement. That
Like 4% then?
it is $1 per transaction up to $33, and then it's 3% on anything above $33. So not inexpensive, especially
For the value of the transactions, it's insignificant.
Yeah. So
What's your average transaction? 10, 15, $20, right?
Yeah.
So
it's a
they're
convenience.
paying they're paying a premium for it, but it's a buck.
it's there if they want it, so. And frankly, a lot of folks that have been coming to the Yardway sites, they know that it's cash and check only, so
Yeah,
they're
Buck's
prepared.
more like 6 or 8 or 10% of the transaction then probably. I mean, if you're a $20 transaction, it's 5%.
Yeah. So, but it'll be a good option for those that
Less and less people carry cash.
that's right. And most folks, they're not concerned about paying a convenience fee for seeing it more and more. So that's kind of where we're moving with that idea. I think it's going to work. So one note, at our CAC meeting last Monday, I was given the group an update and talking about the relocation of the Plainfield Yard Waste Recycling Center, and I showed them where we're talking about doing it. They were not excited about the location, moving it further west and kind of nestled in. And the question came up, has the district ever considered opening a yard waste recycling center in Avon? And if I recollect, it has been kicked around a little bit over the years, but I think part of the argument has been Green Cycle in Danville is proximate to Danville and Avon, but Green Cycle's prices are considerably higher than what we pay, especially these days. But I said that I would bring it up to this body today, and really the CAC was saying, in lieu of that Plainfield site, well then what do Plainfield folks do? But I committed to bringing it before you, and so I have done that. One of my concerns also is we rely on Brownsburg and Plainfield DPW to help push back material. Avon's situation is different, but probably not something that we couldn't overcome. So,
Discussion, thoughts, questions?
I think the new facility for the district's a bigger priority than the yard waste recycling in Avon at this point, in my opinion. Let's figure that out first, and then see if there's interest from the town of Avon to pursue it. But, yeah, you need cooperation with the town.
certainly, and okay, well, we can put it on the maybe down the road list and revisit it maybe in a couple of years. Our Coatesville and North Salem recycling centers, typical activity level this year. Coatesville's down about a ton overall versus last year. North Salem is up 2 tons. I will say that the town of Coatesville is proud of their recycling center and takes good care of it. And if you go out there and dump something you're not supposed to, especially outside the bins, you're likely going to get a souvenir in the mail. And,
Nice, good for them.
yeah, yep. And word is traveling that they are serious about it. So we're just seeing less abuse out there, and it's good. So one other note, Morgan County is opening a new recycling center, an attended recycling center, I believe south of Mooresville, maybe along 67. In the coming, I think they're having a grand opening later this week. That may relieve some pressure from our Coatesville location. Maybe, maybe not, but that'd be okay. If Morgan County folks have their own recycling center to go to, thumbs up. Liston, not a lot to say. Activity in January and February was up over last year. March dropped off a little bit. We are averaging 600 plus visits per week. We do expect that to climb as the weather warms up, snowbirds return. I did the math. Last year, on average, we had 635 people per week through May through September. So as the weather's nicer, for whatever reason, more people come out to recycle. So we expect we'll finish April close to what we did last year, if not ahead of it. And we continue to see new people, 10 plus new people per week coming out to Liston, so that's good. All time now, we've had over 86,000 visits and collected over 1,000 tons at the center, so again, people are appreciative of it and are using it. Saturdays continue to be very busy out there with twice as many cars per hour as any other day of the week. And so, but our attendants have gotten good. They kind of changed the way they manage on those Saturdays. It's really more of a monitoring than assisting. They kind of go to posts and just kind of stay by the hoppers and answer questions and say, sorry, we can't take that. And they're still helping folks unload a little bit to keep things moving, but it's more of a policing situation than it is assisting, but it works, so.
Have you gotten any feedback from the corrugated people, the people who are taking the waste?
No, but no news is good news. I know that they've been happy with the loads that we send. In fact, I think it was last fall, early winter, the local representative who lives in Plainfield for Pratt came out on a Saturday and just spent a couple hours just watching what happens, and he was pleased at that point. And in fact, he was trying to kind of explain to our attendants that you don't have to be quite as picky as you're being. That won't change. They are rule followers, and that's good. That's good. So they don't want to step into the margins. He said, we can take up to 2% of contamination. Paul Miner was hearing none of it. Nope.
Question, Mr. President. What is an example then of what they don't take?
Good question. So if you get a big, when it comes to cardboard, if you get a big shipment and it's heavy, a lot of times there'll be plastic strapping on the outside. If it goes in, it's not a big deal. But that would be an example of something that we ask folks not to put in. Clothes hangers. I'm thinking of the other bin. Right now, it's
Plastic or metal?
Either.
They don't take either one of them?
Correct. Like flower pots from Plant Your Garden or those trays, no. So when it comes to food and, plastic and metal and aluminum and glass, we're really focused on food and beverage containers. That's kind of a good rule of thumb for folks. Now, we also take laundry detergent jugs and shampoo jugs and those kinds of things, but yeah. Now, if you've got a 5-gallon bucket of plastic of metal clothes hangers, take them to a scrap metal facility. They are recyclable, but if you put them in that system out there, and it's conveyors and it's trommels, they just get hung up and yeah. So I think that's all I had for program updates. Any other questions?
Go ahead, Lynn.
All right, my next item is just a note about 2027 budget preparation. It's already that time. I'm going to start pulling those numbers together. Some feedback I got from the board last fall was when you build 2027 budget, build a little bit more margin in. We've been kind of dancing back and forth of budget transfers and needing to do some additional appropriations. So I'm going to try to do that, not put quite as fine a point on it. I don't expect that our spending is necessarily going to increase, but it may save us some headaches as we move through the fall and early winter with going to county council and asking for additional appropriations and all of that. So, but I'm happy to hear any suggestions or concerns from the board, in the next few weeks as I develop that, and I will present it to the CAC late June, early July, as we normally do, for their recommendation. And then at our July meeting, we'll present it to the board and give you plenty of information ahead of time. But that is the plan. And then after this board's approval, then we'll go to the county council for public hearing and formal adoption. So just like most years, although I think on the state side of things, there's some changes with the Gateway program and uploading all the information, but I sat in on a webinar and I think it'll be fine. So, any questions on budget stuff? Comments? Okay. Upcoming events. I've mentioned the Toxaway Days, May 2nd and May 30th. On your notes, I included a May 12th. Got a tour. We had a tour scheduled with a representative from Coca-Cola Consolidated and some folks from the Association of Indiana Solid Waste Management Districts. The Coca-Cola rep reached out to the association, said, hey, I frankly don't know all that he was asking, but he was interested in finding out what we do at Liston and how we do it. I learned over the weekend that has had to be canceled due to that date, but we're trying to reschedule it. So I don't frankly know exactly what he's after, but I'm always happy to show it off, so we'll do that. July 11th, we'll have our third Toxaway Day of the year. July 19th through the 25th is the Hendricks County 4-H Fair. Last year we had a booth along the promenade for a couple of days. We'll probably do that again. That worked out pretty well. Be out there and answer questions about what can we take at Liston, what can't we take, those kinds of things. And then our next board meeting will be in this room July 28th. That was all I had for the director's report.
Any other questions for Lynn? Okay, Lynn, the financial report.
Okay, financial report. We'll start with our financial facts summary. This one is a little different than, I realized I made an error after I sent this in your board packet, just the rainy day fund, the way that the timing of the new CD down there was inaccurate in the one you received via email. But the only thing to point out here is we did renew CDs held by Special Projects Fund and the Rainy Day Fund early in March. Our rate dropped from 4.4% to 3.75%. I did shop that around, and that was the best I could get right then. So, and those will renew next March. I think that was all I had to say about the financial facts summary. I'll move on to the income chart. Our final disposal fee income for the year is about $6,600 ahead of last year, or about $34,000 ahead of the average. The totals for January and February lagged a little bit, but March was well above last year and the average. You can see some comparison on the back of that sheet. Yard waste recycling centers, we're expecting that income to, we're expecting more with increased prices and more activity. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that shakes out. And our attendance, it's been interesting. They're kind of, it is not an exact science when you're out there assessing fees. Yeah, it's a 12-foot trailer, but you've only got it 30% full. And my message to them has been, be fair. We don't want people to feel like they're getting taken advantage of in any way, shape, or form. But we need to begin bringing in a little bit more. So I've had some conversations with the attendants, and but I think they're doing fine. But it may take a few weeks for them to really get a good firm handle on it. So, but we'll know more in the coming days as the reports from April roll in. So, next sheet is our first quarter report. Not a lot to say. In broad strokes, income has exceeded outgo by $37,000, so that's a good start to the year. We are in the early part of the year where we don't write as many big checks for tox-away days and cleanouts of the yard waste sites and those kinds of things. But one thing I'll bring your attention to, we were talking about Pratt, which is our contractor for our cardboard out at Liston, and the agreement since we started, there was always a rebate involved with how much cardboard we collect, and it's based on the market for cardboard and from month to month. And previously, they had just been deducting that rebate amount off of our invoice for the service for the year. Beginning in March, they changed it up, and I won't go into the details of why they did it, but they did it for all their customers. So now they're splitting out the rebate and the invoicing. So we'll start to see some recycling income. We didn't budget for any for this year, but it's kind of interesting to see. So for March, the amount of cardboard that we collected out there generated $608.65. That didn't pay for all of the service, but it got close. So when the market is at about $65 a ton for corrugated cardboard, that's where we break even, and it's close. So the more the better. So any questions on the first quarter report?
Go right ahead, Lynn.
All right, I've got a whole raft of claims registers for you all. There's 3 for the general fund and then 2 for the special projects fund. Not much to say aside from some of the totals are large because we've purchased those CDs. But beyond that, there's really not been anything terribly unique. But I'm happy to try to answer any questions you all have.
Questions for Lynn on any of these? Okay. Apparently not.
Yes, no, we usually do a motion to approve those.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Now, any other questions? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You can pick one of us for the second, whatever. No, I think it was Brad.
Works for me.
Little bit louder voice than what Dan did. So. Old business. Take a drink.
Thank you. Under old business, we just kind of want to touch base about where we are with discussion progress toward a new office and household hazardous waste facility for the district. So you likely recall in January, kind of discussed where on the county property by the highway department we might locate this building. I also shared a proposal from DLZ for engineering and architectural services at that point. The board didn't take any action, and that was fine. Then in March, Mr. Wicker and I did meet with Dan Zerner from Garmong Construction about the project to get a sense of whether or not it might be a good fit for the build, operate, transfer model. And Dan was interested in the project, asked a lot of good questions, and his point is based kind of on the size of the project, it might be a good candidate for that kind of an arrangement. Since that meeting, I've communicated with Mr. Dawes and Mr. Wicker a little bit. Also presented to Mr. Bridget and Ms. Loudon from Strategic Plan Committee, and that gave them the same, essentially the same presentation that we did last fall for the board workshop. Good feedback from everybody, and I appreciate good questions. My sense is there's, I also discussed it with the CAC last week. Everybody seems to be supportive of moving ahead with it, and now we just have to figure out how to crack the nut. So I'll kind of open it up, input from anybody. I know Mr. Wicker had some comments, but kind of go that way.
Yeah, I'm certainly supportive of it. We've had discussions here. I spent a little bit of time with Lynn and Dan, and we got to that point of, okay, we had kind of discussed a budget range. Dan suggested we had questions about that. I mean, I think that the general price point we're talking about is $3 to $4 million in construction costs, site and structure. The general thought or conversation was the county probably owns it. We capture a predetermined amount of money, the county does, from the district that goes toward that. Maybe it's $1 million, and then the county makes up the difference relatively clean. We need a pretty comprehensive lease agreement that defines responsibilities, but ultimately the cost of the lease is insignificant, but dealing with the maintenance and that sort of aspect. I think that's generally where we're at. Your bullet points are all very valid. I'd love to just see us move forward with the bullet points and come to an agreement that the commissioners and the council and the county can agree to, and this body. I think we've got the great location. You do good work. I think it would serve our community very well to have that facility.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I will restate what I said last time. It will be imperative with this engineering firm that you keep control of that, because it will.
But I don't think we're gonna go that route if
Okay.
we do a bot.
But if we do,
I don't think that's the vendor of
Okay.
choice.
that's good then.
Yes. That was merely a proposal. There was no action
We were
taken.
just looking for a starting point. But I think if we go a bot route, that becomes collaborative with that vendor, and we have more influence on who that vendor is. And I think that's some of why Dan with Garmong was steering us in that direction. Those fees were pretty stout in that proposal, and I think we can get it done for significantly less.
Our experience in Plainfield with BOD is it works very, very well. It keeps them on track. It avoids a lot of cost overrun, and which has been a problem in the past with the supplier. I think Brad's got a really good idea.
That's good to hear, because we've not done one at the county. Denny and I have discussed a little bit, we're just a lack of familiarity and trying to peel back the onion to make sure that, I want people to make money that work for the county. I just don't want them to make too much. And those things happen.
Or a contract that's not to exceed, like, where if they overrun, then they overrun, our cost doesn't go up.
Good to hear that there's been some favorable experience with that mechanism.
So, I guess it would be appropriate, perhaps, I'll use that word, if we would make a motion maybe, or consensus, to direct Lynn to move forward then with the outline that he has given us anyway. Lynn, maybe you want to make some comments, but so we don't kind of keep talking about this at every meeting, but the way we're going to talk about it is, here's what we've done and here's where we are and so on.
Is it a memorandum of understanding it would be done through the commissioners and this body? Is that what we need, the document we need to proceed?
I believe it is. I like Mr. Wicker's timeline.
Maybe.
Well, I can start working on a draft of the lease for your consideration. I think that is predominantly what you want to see. I think we all understand what the I'm not sure you need an MOU. I think you all given us good direction where you want us to go. Then we can work on a lease and get it to you. I think the lease is going to be the most significant operating document that we have.
Okay.
And it's going to incorporate everything we put in the MOU.
Let's proceed with getting the documents that we can all begin to understand and having some input.
Consensus should do, I think.
Yes, I agree.
And hope it doesn't take 120 days to get there.
Okay.
I said it.
Okay.
Our next meeting's in July. However, am I hearing that if we get our ducks in a row, you all would like to meet before then, or, because the other piece of this is,
I think we can give you enough feedback as that document gets developed
Okay.
outside of a meeting perhaps. I would
Okay.
think that if we had a draft, there's pretty good body of knowledge up there that can provide input from both sides. So let's try that
Put the
route.
framework together, straw man, and let's, it's a working document, and let us review it at some frequency, and we'll go from there.
okay.
Agree.
Okay?
When would the site be ready to start construction?
Yesterday.
It's ready.
Yeah,
It is
Yeah,
ready.
it's ready, yeah.
I have one, all right, you know, you and your team, is this location and this site, is this acceptable, and do you see this?
Pretty phenomenal,
Yeah,
I think.
No, I just want a confirmation from
Yeah.
them, on this, so you're,
I think it makes sense in.
you know
the
better
lo-
than anybody if this is
Yeah.
gonna be the right one, so.
Right, the location is good in that it is as geographically central to the population as we're probably going to find. And this idea that we can be co-located next to the highway department, there's
Synergies there.
synergies there. And
Frankly,
frankly,
snow plowed.
that's right, exactly, like if,
Probably not, but.
I mean, just managing, pushing snow and cutting grass at Liston, that's this big, that's enough. So if the county, if we can get to an agreement where the county is taking care of some of that stuff, that's not gonna hurt my feelings at all.
As we all know, the devil's in the details. The
Right.
details are gonna be withheld in that lease,
Right.
and everything needs to be captured there, so.
You gotta go,
Yeah.
but the district is gonna lease the building from the county.
And a level of upkeep and maintenance, or all.
We'll put that in there.
I know one of the ideas that came forth when I met with Mr. Bridget and Ms. Loudon was the idea of the district pays for the build out of the building, a white box kind of situation.
Concrete structure, I wouldn't separate those.
Okay.
I don't think it's necessary in my opinion, but if the county's ultimately gonna own it, we can find a legal way for the district to give the county $1 million toward that project. I think that's the cleanest way to get it done.
Okay. All right, we will begin getting a lease together that will sketch out those details, and then obviously the commissioners will need to make a decision, council will need to make a decision at some point, but we'll begin getting some meat on the bones. Excellent,
So
that's exciting.
by consensus then, and I see everybody's head kind of shaking up and down. So Lynn, that's,
Do we have a motion to proceed, I make a motion to construct the lease?
okay,
Does that make sense?
that's fine.
I'll make a motion to slowly pursue this by constructing a lease and then meeting at some predetermined frequency for review.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
All right, thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you, Lynn and Brad, and Dan, I think you've been somewhat involved as well, so thanks. Yep. Keep this going. Okay.
All right.
Go ahead, Lynn.
Last item for today on the agenda is our CAC report. The CAC met on April 20th to review the applications that we had received for the spring grant round. We received 5 applications requesting just over $22,000. In your packet was a copy of the meeting notes and the spreadsheet that kind of gave you a snapshot of what was requested and the CAC's recommendations. $10,000 was earmarked. After good consideration and back and forth, and the CAC made recommendations that equal 8,200. They're broken out there. That means about $1,800 will carry over, and we'll make that available with the fall grant rounds.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve this recommendation for these grants.
Move for approval. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Board comments, concerns, questions, anybody? Apparently not. So Lynn has told us when our next meeting is, and we'll probably be hearing more in between. Feel free to communicate, email with us, or call any of us. And Greg, thank you for, you put together a good document, I'm sure, so thank you. Yeah.
I will invite anybody and everybody out to Toxaway Day on Saturday if you haven't been to one in a while.
You have your hand up?
He was cheering us on.
Oh, I thought you were gonna make a comment.
Oh, no, it's
You're gonna
fine.
get up as your former cheerleader and cheer us on?
I have
Okay.
a previous commitment that'll prevent me from coming.
All right.
I probably would rather do that.
Fair enough.
We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Nancy, this is a good candidate.
Pardon?
Instead of bonding.
Yes.
Bonding.
Everything gotta work.
Yeah.
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we ask that you guide us. We ask that you guide our nation, that instances like at Bloomington and Washington, that people learn to resolve their issues in a friendly manner instead of shooting each other. We ask that you put your hands on us, Lord, and guide us. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen. Please sign it out front if you haven't already done so. Approval of minutes, from April 14th.
Move to approve as submitted.
Second.
In the second, those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Christopher Burke review fee, $10,600.
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. The next item is total maintenance funds of $23,157.75.
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Acceptance of the auditor's
Move to
report.
accept the auditor's report for $23,157.75.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Mr. Steerwald. Dave Gaston, you're up.
I think we have some,
Quotes?
quote recommendations. Tiffany, you want to?
So these are the quotes that we opened for the last meeting. We have 4 different projects. The first one is for the Feeney Drain for Phase 1, recommending Moraine Excavating in the amount of $14,750.
You've heard a recommendation from the surveyor.
Move for approval, Marine Excavating, $14,750.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion. Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And none opposed, motion carries.
Next one is the Feeney Phase 2, recommending Taylor Cooper Excavating in the amount of $17,800.
Second.
And moved and seconded. One question, are those two guys, the elevations will be consistent?
Yes, we're not dredging. This is tree
Okay,
clearing
okay.
and, yeah.
All right. Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And none opposed, motion carries.
Next one is Pine Creek, recommending Beechwood Construction in the amount of $54,200.
Move for approval.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Further discussion. Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And none opposed, motion carries.
Last one I have is for Redgate and recommending Moraine Excavating in the amount of $16,850.
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion. Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And none opposed, motion carries. Sealed quotes.
You want to say what it is?
Go ahead.
Okay. These are for the Barnett wrong. First one is from Moraine Excavating. In the amount of $4,917. And the second one is for Taylor Cooper Excavating. For $8,800.
And then we'll bring these back for recommendation at the next meeting if you guys are okay with that.
On that photo, is that's correlated to this quote, right? Is it the red that we're looking at for the 185 feet?
Yes, because Beacon is off, so the light blue dotted line is where Beacon shows it, but that's not accurate. So
Okay.
the tile's actually a little bit farther to the west.
So it continues south from that red.
So this is not cropland, is it?
No.
Okay,
185 feet will be put
Okay.
into the backhoe.
you'll get back to us then. Next is Dave, keep going.
Wade. Danville Conservation Club Dam,
Again.
again, forever.
Hello, Wade Banning Engineering, 53 Columbia Road, Suite 101, Plainfield, Indiana. Banning Engineering has been working with the Surveyor's Office on the Danville Conservation Club Incident and Emergency Action Plan. This is a document that is required by DNR. They require the owners of the dam to put together this document. The document is basically a process for how to deal with different emergency events that occur out at a particular dam, such as flooding, an earthquake, potentially sabotage, seepage, things such as that. As we've been working through this document, we've had some outstanding questions, which has brought into question the fact that there is a new lease agreement between the county and Danville Conservation Club as to who is, I guess, responsible. DNR would say that the owner of the dam is responsible to have the document put together, but as far as who is going to be the one enacting the dam, we need I guess, determination from Mr. Storwald as to who we need to have inserted there as the, I guess, IEPA coordinator, who would be the one organizing and working through this document every time there is a particular incident out at the dam. And there's a few other roles that are associated with that as well.
The county's the owner, but we lease it to the property. So whatever we need to do, get in touch with the folks at the Conservation Club to assist in whatever you need, why we can do that.
Okay.
That was the big question, is who owns it? And this document, when we started this process a couple decades ago, the maintenance was for mowing, and we knew that every couple of years, Joe was gonna fill out a form for DNR because they required it. This has come up, and so this is gonna add to the cost of that. I don't know how often that needs to be done, Wade.
It is based off of, I guess, technically natural causes, because it's more based off of how much rain we've received, if there's seepage through the dam, and it could be, likelihood it won't be on a regular basis, but
Right.
it could be multiple times within a month, or it could be multiple times, or one time over several months.
That was never taken into account. We didn't know we was gonna have to do that as part of maintenance. And so, is that something that we want the Conservation Club dam to help pay for?
Well, I personally look to Mr. Stillwell.
Yeah.
Because this has kind of been his, he's really guided us through this, and I
Right.
look to him for guidance on what to do with this.
Well, you know, we revised it pretty strongly that they are gonna do the maintenance, the
Yes.
projects on it. I mean, things such as this, do the owners sign this for DNR?
I need to confirm that.
Okay. We didn't know about some of this
Yeah.
stuff. So let's confirm who actually has to do the reporting and who signs it. And then, I just have to take a look at who's in, what duties the owners have, what duties they have. Okay,
Wade,
is that fair?
triangulate your conversations with those two guys there.
And quantify the costs we're talking about.
Yeah.
I think needs some kind of
Yes.
quantifications
Oh, yes.
to understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because eventually, because remember when this whole thing started, they wanted to save it, then we sent them the bill and they blew a gasket. And they're eventually, I won't even probably be alive then, but it'll fail. They'll run out of money and it'll fail.
But they signed the lease.
Right. They just won't be able to pay
It's
us.
been going on since 1957.
So, and the money is a big part of that, because we don't bring in enough
Right.
under maintenance to do all of that. It was supposed to be mowing, and this once in a while, these every biannual reports, not this, so.
I can say in the template version of the document, the signature page does have owner, engineering department, director, approval, and acceptance.
Cool job, engineering department. I'm digging that.
is this a new DNR rule?
This has come up in the last, it's more recent. I don't know how, when it actually was established, but it has come up in the last, I'd say 5 to 10 years.
So, yes, we have no idea. So we're waiting, no pun intended, wading through this. And I needed some direction from you all.
What's the name of the dam out there that they formed, the Conservancy District?
Yep, the subdivision that failed.
Not Indian Head, the other one.
Jetto Lake.
Jetto Lake.
Yes. Isn't this, why wouldn't this be a candidate for them to do that? And I don't like, I told him he'd be a smart guy to convince me to do that again. But the Conservancy District, they pay that through their taxes, so if they default, then it's on their house. Would this be a candidate for them to do that? For the Conservation Club to form the Conservancy District to pay this thing?
But it's our property.
It's our property.
We have no tax.
Oh.
I think in that situation, it was owned
Yeah.
privately, where you
Okay.
could lien.
Yeah.
All the more reason that it won't work one of these days.
Okay. You have what you need, Wade?
I believe so.
We're
I
gonna be
think,
talking, aren't we?
yeah, probably.
Okay.
But I will double check into it. I think it probably could be the roles associated with the document could probably be associated with Danville Conservation Club Dam. The county might just need to sign the document, but I'll coordinate with you guys on that.
Okay, good.
So,
Thanks.
That would be great.
thank you for your
Thank
time.
you, Wade.
Doesn't that put all these housing addition, so-called dams built by contractors at the time in peril?
I think it does.
Part of it is the size of the dam. DNR doesn't regulate really small dams like that, only larger
It's
dams.
high hazard dams are
Yeah.
the ones that are required to have an IEAPs, so.
So they wouldn't all fall into that category.
That's defined by water volume behind it and or the height of the dam.
Height of the dam, and I think downstream residents as
Yeah.
well.
And so most of these subdivision dams aren't that hazardous.
So you got what you need, Wade?
I do, yep.
All right, thank you. John?
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Can you put up beacon?
I can.
I want to talk to you today real quick about projects that commissioners are doing
John, you
down.
want to introduce your?
I'm sorry. This is,
I'm Eric Arthur with A&F Engineering.
Who?
A&F Engineering.
this is for a project down at 39 and I-70. All of the development down there and the warehouses.
I've had good conversations today on that.
So fine. And we're trying to improve the traffic situation down there. Access to the warehouses, pardon?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I didn't know you were gone.
That's good, I guess.
Insult.
John, you need
That
this.
means I got a good office, I guess.
Right.
John, you got your
job done.
Okay. Just to kind of give you a little background on the project. We're working on 3 roundabouts here. One of them is down here at where Greencastle Road comes in. There's gonna be a new roundabout here. This is gonna get realigned.
Okay.
Greencastle Road's gonna get realigned down to here. There's gonna be a roundabout there. The state actually is building a roundabout down there at Keller Hill. Then can you go back up? But specifically what we want to talk to you about now, we're also going to build one, I say we, hopefully it's a joint effort between the county and the state and the developers. We're gonna improve, this has a signal on it right now, we're gonna put a roundabout there, and then a roundabout here to help this access for Sunbeam, which is developing pretty much everything between here and Hazelwood. So to help with their access, so it doesn't all have to go through there, they want to improve 1,000 and make that into their main access, and then also improve the access into this truck stop, which, as we all know, is not in a good location there. So as part of that, NDOT has said, yes, you can do that, but you need to shift it north about 300 feet. So the new roundabout's gonna be about right there. So the state has said, we're not gonna do it because State Road 39, we don't participate in economic development improvements, which isn't really true, but they have been resistant. The commissioners decided to take the lead, we're gonna go ahead and do this because it's needed. So the commissioners have taken the lead on buying a right-of-way, doing the design, and then trying to get funding put together from multiple sources, including the developer and hopefully some from NDOT. But as part of that, obviously, we're gonna be increasing the footprint up here and increasing the footprint down here. It's slight, but there is gonna be an increase. So, this has come up and we felt like we needed to talk to the drainage board about what we are doing and making sure we're okay to do it. The increases are minimal, and I'll let Eric talk a little bit about the hydraulic calculations that we did, but what I had them do was compare what's there now to what the hard surface is gonna be afterwards and what the discharge is gonna be afterwards, and I don't believe personally that there's a need for detention, but we wanted you guys to see it and get your thoughts on it and what measures you want us to take, if any. So Eric, I'll let you talk about what they're looking at.
Yeah, so the exhibit you guys have in front of you kind of shows the existing condition versus the proposed condition, and we broke the project into two portions. The northern portion for innovation at West Point Boulevard, and the southern portion for the new roundabout just north of the existing Coger Street, like John mentioned before. So as you can see in the boxes, and we've got some things highlighted here, the northern portion of project area A, we compared pervious area and the impervious area. There's not a whole lot of difference between the existing and the proposed condition. The existing intersection is relatively large pavement-wise, or pavement area-wise, so doing the roundabout doesn't increase the impervious area by a whole lot. As you can see, impervious area for the existing condition is 2.12 acres. Impervious for the proposed is only 2.2, so very small change there. And then as we run through the drainage calculations to get to the CFS for the 10-year storm, that's the Q10 that's highlighted there. We're at 12.9 versus 13.27, so only a slight change, slight increase there for project area A. And then similarly for project area B on the southern portion, we do have some additional impervious area here just because of the realignment of County Road 1000 South. That's just new pavement that's not out there now, so the impervious area did go up from 2.12 to 4.69, and then obviously the Q rate or the flow rates, the Q10 from 16 to 23. The unfortunate thing is the existing 1000 South alignment can't really go away because of the existing properties that are there, and I think there's a communication tower or something near Stair 39. So we can't kind of trade impervious area from the existing alignment to the new alignment. Also, the realignment of, or I guess the new access road into the truck stop is adding impervious area also, but we are taking a little bit of pavement away from Coger, so there's not exactly a apples to apples there, but it is relatively close. So the flow rates did change for project area B, but I think we feel it's relatively minor given the circumstances. So that's a rundown of the exhibit we put together. Hopefully all that makes sense.
Well, in my, if people don't agree with you, I always say it doesn't make me angry. But in my humble opinion, I don't think we have to have this reviewed by Bert since we have ANF doing this. But if board members weigh in on this, that's why you're sitting here.
That a lot of this, keep in mind that this area, especially the area west of 39, as Sunbeam develops this, there will be, additional buildings in here and additional detention constructed as part of that for that area. So that'll help offset the impacts. And like he said, the majority of the added area on that southern roundabout is that realignment or the new alignment, additional alignment of 1000 South.
Can you show us where's the water going now? And I know it's keep going, but where does it go now?
That was gonna be a quick question here. So where the roundabout is being added, it looks as if water flows here. So is that gonna go underneath the new roundabout, or, is that gonna be, subsurface, or
There's a structure, there's a culvert there now.
There is, yes. Yeah, there is an existing structure there that kind of eventually makes its way up. There's also a larger structure here that we are not touching as part of this project. In the shaded part of the exhibit, you can see that's gapped out, and we're not touching that. That's where most of the drainage goes anyway. That's kind of why we broke it into a northern and southern section. So it all will continue going there, just, some of it'll be piped, some of it'll be in ditches. We haven't worked that out 100% yet, because we're still in a preliminary plan phase, but it will all end up in the same location.
my thought was, is just, it looks as if the water flows that way naturally, and you're talking about future development, is just whatever, is this pipe, there's something there existing, but we will upsize it for future development?
Well, they should have
Or
to,
retention
they
ponds?
should have to detain on the west side as that comes through to not need to increase.
Right.
It shouldn't increase what's going
Well,
on.
we can insist on that.
I'm just saying what's there is probably small, just making sure,
And I will say, when those, for example, when this comes in and gets developed, part of our review is if they're gonna go under this existing and it's there, then that's the restriction point.
That's the limiting.
So they have to design their detention to deal with that restriction. Okay.
The burden will be on them,
Yes, it is.
So is that water, is it
and they'll be before us.
doing that, John?
Yeah, it goes from,
Yes.
I think that creek, I can't remember what, is that?
McCracken.
McCracken. It flows south into Morgan County.
Right. And I've already told Terry Brock, it's your problem. We're sending our water to you, my friend.
Will we have to have a joint meeting for that?
Not for this, but all the others we have. We always have a joint drainage board meeting for all of these projects on the west side of, or the east side of 39. On the west side, Terry said he didn't care about those. So we don't have, usually we don't have joint drainage board meetings for this side.
Right.
This side we do.
So you made Terry aware of what's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, on the roundabout, yeah, he
Yes.
knows all about the
Morgan
roundabouts.
County Board, and they're of course
Yeah.
aware of the development stuff.
Yes. So I agree with you, Bob. I don't think this needs to go out on a review, and I'm okay with no detention just for these roundabouts.
That's my opinion, but I'm just one person. And my experience with A&F has been really good in the past. Working on other projects with you guys has been really good. So do you need us to give some kind of formal approval, John?
I don't, Dave.
Just a consensus that
that we can move
this
forward.
won't come before the drainage board and no detention's required, basically is what we're saying.
We'll build it.
Okay, you're good. Thanks for bringing it to us, John.
All right, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is wishes to be heard. Jim Murphy.
Morning.
Good morning.
Wow. 10726 North State Road 267, Brownsburg. I should say Brown Township, excuse me. At any rate, sometimes things just happen, and they're all good. So we got Dave here, we got John here. And what I want to talk about is at 1000 North and 267, the underpass. And I don't know whether.
We just had a truck stuck under there again the other day.
Well, it's not so much the underpass issue. A culvert was laid on the west side of the bridge. And since then, there's been absolutely no water retained underneath the bridge. So I don't know who laid the culvert. And Dave, it flows like mad when it flows.
Okay.
And it goes north. And I don't know, whether we've done that, and it's a small ditch, but to me, it's gotta be maintained. And it's working very well. So.
Are you happy with it?
He's happy with the
I'm-
result.
That's what.
It took me a minute.
And I did it.
He used to flow it badly
I
up
did
there.
not do it. I did not do that.
Dave, I
John's
take
taking
praise.
the credit. John
It
held his
doesn't come
hand
very
up.
often.
Rarely.
But again, I don't know whether there's a drainage right away there or not. And
Let me interrupt, Jim. I'm glad you brought this up because Jack reminded me, that's the Thompson drain, and it does need work. It needs some work, the brush and right there on the west side of the railroad.
It's very shallow.
Yes, it's very shallow.
Where was the culvert
It's
placed?
about 50 feet west of the
Under the road?
Yeah.
Dave, if you
Under the
did it,
road.
you should know where you
West
put
of
it.
the railroad.
Right, so that had to be highway, John?
Yes.
I don't remember the
It goes here and
Okay. That is John. Unfortunately, you can credit him.
He held his hand up.
I know he did. I know he did.
So it's
So,
good for everybody, public safety and everything.
yeah, John did that.
Let's give the
Thanks,
credit to Jim.
Well, and I
Jim
think
deserves the credit.
Jim wants to emphasize to maintain it, right? It works
Yeah.
well, let's keep it working.
And we do need to start taking a look at that Thompson drain right in there. It needs work. It needs to be.
We can talk about that, but I think the, I don't know what drain you're talking, are you talking about this drain?
yeah.
That one doesn't come up as a regulated drain. I think that was
I don't
vacated.
believe it is, but
Okay.
that's just what it's named.
Okay, okay, good. So,
And also, I went by there this morning, I went by last night at 10 o'clock. But this morning I noticed there was a lot of water sitting on top of the field there on the south side. So those people are gonna be able to put some tile in there and farm it.
The Clarks.
yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
We don't often get those.
No.
Attaboy.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Usually there's a but.
Yeah. However, thank you, Jim.
Board members, you have anything?
Yeah, we got a major issue at the Kate Lee North End. Joe Miller and I talked with Stewart for Land Consulting Group. They think they got everything under control. They realigned the Kate Lee to the point where they didn't connect any of the stuff that's gonna be underneath their road. Dirk was out there hammering it, and he found two big laterals coming from the north that's right under their road, and I said, you gotta intercept those and put those to a structure. Well, that's not our job. That's, who's paying for that? That wasn't bid. Another thing, the sanitary sewer from West Central Waste District is going on the east side of 900 deep, and if they put their tile through there, they're gonna break it because the West Central District is deep, and they knew nothing about that. They were trying to set a structure on the east side of 900 to a tile that's 12-inch, there should be 15. And Dirk was there, he cameraed it, he went 390 feet, well past their French drain because they thought they intercepted it. They did not. And so I brought up the issue, they brought up the issue of vacating the old tile. I said, you can't do that because there's laterals coming into it. Well, that's not our job. I said, when you want live tile underneath your new road, you're gonna have to do something. But the first thing, we need to get that 12-inch tile out of there so they can connect to it. And this is so convoluted, the way this is going. I think there needs to be a stop work order put on their project right there until they get a plan to what they're doing, because they're just going willy-nilly. They don't have an idea what to do.
Okay.
Can I speak?
Hang on, let's take it a little at a time. Isn't this where Joe and Chris and Carl, isn't this where they come in?
Well, what dropped the ball was the engineering year ago or 6 months ago.
The design.
The design is,
Yes.
I mean, there's no permits, no permits, they have no reason to even touch that drain without permits, number one, and two, this could have been done and located 6 months ago,
Yes.
and we wouldn't have these issues now.
Yes, absolutely.
So somebody dropped the ball big time prior. And
I'm
everybody's blaming everybody else, and everybody's taking offense, and nobody's getting along, and there's no plan to move forward.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna recognize John. Part of the design was brought to my attention, the easement is too narrow. And
Because
that's-
We're talking about, that's a different project. You're talking about sanitary
Right,
sewer.
right, but I just want to point that out, that was a mistake. Now, John, you want to be recognized?
So I'm assuming what you're referring to, Jack, is around Reagan Parkway. And I know you met with Stu out there, Stu May, who works for United Consulting Engineers, who's our inspector on the project, okay? This is on the Parkway. And if you recall, a year ago, 2 years ago, I don't remember when we went through this, but you guys approved and Burke reviewed with multiple iterations of this project. You guys approved the design, you approved of what we were doing, had to do to the Kate Lee. The whole board approved it, Burke approved it, Surveyor's Office approved it. So everything that's out there has been designed. The Kate Lee has been located on the original design. It was located, they've got coordinates on the Kate Lee, and I believe, in talking to Stu last night, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Dave or Dirk or Tiffany this morning, but those coordinates are pretty close to what I believe and what we were told and everybody believed at the time of design is the actual Kate Lee. And so there is a design. So it has been designed. It's not a convoluted mess moving forward.
It
This has
is
been
because
designed
they
and
did not
approved
spot,
2 years
they did
ago.
not spot the east side of the Kate Lee. They went from everything from the south, brought it north, set their structures without knowing the invert. They are 2 tenths uphill. They are not flowing water.
Well, the way I understand it, the Kate Lee, what you told Stu and what Stu and you talked about in the field was, part of the Kate Lee may be flat or uphill already anyway.
It was put in with a drag line, John.
Okay, so I'm just saying, that's not our fault if there's a problem with the flow.
It is if you
what we're-
didn't spot the other side.
Okay, and when, what brought this up last week, Stu asked for some clarification as we got into it to answer these questions. Where's the Kate Lee exactly? Is this actually it? Are we doing the right thing here? Because of all this had been approved previously, we have it designed, I think it's pretty close, and I think the location of the Kate Lee is pretty close. So we're trying to work with everybody to make sure we're doing the right thing out there, but to say that there is no design going forward is not accurate.
Sounds like we need to expand the scope, then we need to take a hard look at expanding the scope.
We need to make sure that what we're hooking into is the real tile and make sure that what we're doing in the field matches the
Believe me,
design
John,
elevations.
They know they are sitting on the Kate Lee. They hooked to the Kate Lee, but their new tile went off direction. It's pointed a little bit south, so I don't know how they're gonna connect that to the other side.
Well, so, and that's what we're trying to clarify right now in the field as we build this.
I was
is-
standing right there when they dug it up, and they are on the Kate Lee. Now, they thought the little tile that they saw water running in it, I said, that's not the Kate Lee. He goes, well, the sign says it is. I said, no, that sign says it's in the right of way. So it was a clay tile, because he clinked it. I said, that's clay. And it was running water. He goes, well, where's that water running to? Because we don't have any water in our structure. I said, it probably parallels the Kate Lee and hooks in later. I mean, it was put in well before my time, but still running water, more so than the Kate Lee. Now, when Dirk cameraed that water was flowing to the point where the camera went underwater because they blocked it off. So,
But I think what we've got is a good design based on the information we had at that time, and it was located at that time when we did design. Now, as we all know, when you're actually building stuff, you've got to confirm that what your design is what's really there. And that's what we're trying to do in this phase.
In order to ensure or improve what
Right,
is designed.
and we want to make sure that what we're doing and what was designed matches the real field conditions, and that's what we're trying to do right now. But that's part of the process of building this, is making sure it's right. So to say we need to put a stop work order on it, I think is counterproductive
what are
to
you gonna
another
do with
county
those live
project.
tiles coming from the north?
So that's what we're trying to do as we intercept these. In all of our projects, every project in the county, we put a spec in there saying, if you encounter a tile, if you cut a tile, if you see running water, stop, figure out where it's coming from, perpetuate it as best we can. Sometimes that
See,
means
that's
lower
not
what
what
we're
Stewart
intercepting.
said.
Well-
Said it's not our job. And then the contractor from Kreider and Kreider said, we didn't bid that to fix that. So, and then Stewart goes, well, it's not my job. It's not my job. I said, well, if you want a live tile under your road, it better be somebody's job.
Okay, well, I talked to Stewart last night at about 7 o'clock about this, and I think he's got a pretty good handle on things, and I don't think that I'll make sure he knows it is his job, okay? It's part of this project to make sure all this stuff hooks up and all this stuff drains. So
Well,
that's
we're
part of building this. That's part of going through this process, and that's what we're trying to coordinate with the surveyor's office starting last week.
We're all in agreement.
Simply a change order.
All,
And
right,
improve it.
we're all in
And maybe-
agreement.
All it is.
It has to work. This is where, because I was
They'll come
emphatic,
before us.
the inspection had to be Joe or Jeff
Commissioner
and
Gentry.
Now,
I will
and
tell you,
Christopher. Now, look, hear me out here.
got a good-
Because that's
it's
who
gonna be
I'm
handled.
gonna depend on. And it's not on John. It's not on John. It's on I'm not gonna use the name because I'm not supposed to, but there was a problem there to begin with. And it wasn't John, it wasn't anybody else, it was them. And they need to find the tile before they start. I told your dad that. Your dad and your Uncle Matt shot the grades accurately down there, and they were inaccurate before.
But that's not here.
I know, but it's the same company doing this.
Ensure that what we're gonna do is going to improve what's there now.
Yes. I mean, it's not in the scope of this project to fix the whole Cape Lee. I mean, it's not in the scope of the Ronald Reagan Parkway to fix the whole Cape Lee. It's to make sure to improve it if we can within our footprint, not make it any worse. But we're not there to, regrade the whole
Do
thing.
you think this wastewater or West Central Water Waste District tile or sanitary should have been in first before they put a tile across that they're gonna have to be cut?
That's actual regional sewer district, which is also the county. Yes, ideally that should have been in first.
Yes, I agree with that. And I
Sure
had
about
no
that.
idea it was going in.
John was less than excited with the regional sewer board of directors.
That's you guys.
Can I join that list? I'm behind
But
John.
ideally, yes, that should have gone in first, but it hasn't. So we met with them yesterday too, and
Just
figured out a way to
don't want
do
them
these
set a
things
structure on the
concurrently.
east side and put a 12-inch hole in there that should be 15.
So I agree with what Brad said earlier. Don't stop the work that's going on, but if they see something and it needs to be fixed, put a change order in and correct it as we go.
And that's why we're asking questions. That's why.
We
Stu made a
trust
call
you
last
when
week.
you bring
Yeah.
that to us, and it sounds like that's what needs to happen, and what's out there
Well,
wasn't.
I don't think it's gonna take change orders. I think it's things we can do within the project. We just need to make sure what
Fine.
we're doing is the right thing. And if we need to upsize a tile here and there, we can upsize a tile. But everything that they're doing is according to
Upsize of
the,
the tiles on the drainage board.
well, I mean a tile coming into it. What you're referring to, the 12 that ought to be a 15 or whatever. If there's things we need to improve as we go through, we can. Some of them we can incorporate in the scope of the project, some of them may be a change order. But
Fine.
that's why we're asking the questions now, and that's part of this process. Because
it's
we will
outside
always
the
encounter
scope.
things we didn't anticipate.
If it's outside the scope of the project, then it needs to be a change order.
Yes, if it is outside the scope, yes, agreed. But I think Stu's got a pretty good handle on it, Manning's got people there, so I think we've got a pretty good handle on what we're doing, and there is a design.
Well, and that's
We're
why
trying to
I've
work
always,
with that design.
And if part of that falls within the drain, that would be a separate contract, but let's deal with it.
If we decide to expand anything to the drain itself, yeah.
The two of you feel that it merits it, do it.
you've got to have the agility out there on the site to make the changes without having to come to the board.
And without stopping work, that's not the right.
Right.
Yes,
No.
correct.
And just make sure everything's working like it's supposed to. You don't have choke points and various things. So are you comfortable with that, Joe? As the inspector?
Yes.
I know you don't want
to. John's got a good handle on it. He's talked to Stewart. Stewart has been saying the same things. I think sometimes, not to elaborate too much, but contractors, when you listen to contractor conversations and you happen to be out there at the same time they see something, they automatically, well, that's not,
And the first reaction is.
No, I think it's worse than that, actually.
So, I don't not building contractors, other contractors.
I think everybody wants to make sure the Kate Lee's in good shape, and they want to make sure there's no random tiles underneath it within the right of way.
Yeah.
And everybody's in agreement with that, and they know that's gonna be the end product, so.
Anything we intercept, we're gonna take care of. So that's part of the process. Sanitary sewer is another concern. I know that's a concern for you.
We've made that a point.
But we talked to them yesterday, and it can be done. I mean, they would have to, even if our project wasn't there, where they're running on the east side of 900, they would have to do something to support the existing tiles anyway, even if we weren't going in. So it's a matter of what you want them to do with your tile, whether it's the new one or whether it's the old one. They'd have to do something to work under it, lay under it.
And I deem that
Anyway.
contractor to be, he's been at it a long time.
Yeah, Chuck
They know
knows
what
what
they're
he's
doing.
So we didn't talk to contractors yesterday. Our meeting yesterday was at the engineering. And then today we're on all sides, construction points doing the sewer. And then today we have a progress meeting with our contractor tomorrow. They have one today, I think. So then we're gonna try to take the things we talked about yesterday to the contractors and say, here's how we think it needs to go forward to get the parts. hopefully the portions of the sanitary sewer that cross under the drainage stuff can get done first, even if we have to stub off and isolate sections so that they're not working under the new tile. But they'd be working under a tile anyway regardless, even if we weren't there. So even if they had gone in 3 months ago, it would help our project, but they'd still have to deal with you on how to address the existing drain tiles that are there now.
See, it's easier to go under plastic than it is reinforced concrete.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be nice if they would actually have communicated with me.
Yes. Our goal.
You're not feeling any love, are you?
I'm not. No,
Our goal.
No, I'm not.
Our goal, my goal, is that we leave the drainage as good or better than it was before we got there.
Sure, and that's what we want to.
And there may be times, your dad and I have had this conversation, there may be times where we have to go back and do something to fix it. And if we do, we do. So
I think the key is we probably need to meet with you guys and Dirk and our guys and see, make sure everything that we're connecting is what it needs to be. Either by the plans, or if it needs to be something different, then specify what that change is.
Calm down.
Thank you, John.
Okay, anybody else have anything to bring forward? Any board members have anything? Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor of the motion, say by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We're adjourned. That's your birthday.
I need your autograph.
Dave?
We're gonna try to walk through the council.
Okay.
That was not an ask, that was
I put the lines for you, make it a little bit easier.
Thank you.
See you sneak in.
The first thing we did was, keep.
What is your problem, Jack?
Yeah, that's right. It just took away, now that's not what they were using for the highway, but also EMS.
We'll call our meeting to order. Would you join us in pledge of allegiance to our flag and a word of prayer after that? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we do thank you for your love and your grace to us, all individuals that live in this country, that live in this county, but Father, throughout the world, all individuals. We're all made in your image. Lord, give us your wisdom. Seems to be a lot of tension and trouble throughout the world, as always, but even more today. We pray for peace. We pray for understanding. Give us your understanding and wisdom as we as commissioners make decisions for this county and the people that live here. Bless us in our meeting today, I pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all for your attendance today. I would start our meeting with a comment that if any of you are here that want to talk about the rezoning in the Brown Township for the Drees housing project, that's been moved to May the 12th. So if you're here for that and you can come back on May the 12th, or you can stay for our meeting, because you'll have a wonderful time in our meeting. Thank you. Okay, Chair would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of April 14th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Entertain a motion to approve the executive session minutes of April 14th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Need a motion to approve the claims that were sent to us.
Move approval.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. All right. Under new business, our first item is a resolution that we have for the Consolidated Liberty Economic Development Area, Liberty Township Economic Development Area, and Adam Strobel. And
Yeah, we're going to do it jointly.
you're going to tag team this?
Yes, maybe.
Okay, please introduce yourselves and give us your bank account number.
Okay. John, what's yours? Greg Garataz, president of Financial Solutions Group, live and work in Hendricks County. So,
Adam Sturwell, Barnes and Thornburg.
So. Grew up in
here.
Yeah, I went to his Christmas party. So good morning. So what we're doing is expanding based upon the request of the Redevelopment Commission. It was unanimously approved. I have to talk about that word. Earlier this year to expand the economic development area that currently exists at 70 and 39 to go up 39 by itself and then go out to the new hospital site / maybe new fire and EMS site. And so we are not increasing any of the allocation areas that was brought up in the Plan Commission, and I believe, Mr. Wicker, you were there. And we also discussed that many times with the Redevelopment Commission. This would just allow the TIF increment that the county has in that area to be able to use it up in the 40 area for either hospital improvements and or fire and EMS that is being heavily discussed. So that's all it does. It does not, again, affect any of the allocation areas expanded or anything, and goes only up the tax exempt road of 39 and out to the hospital property. So Adam, take it away.
Yes, so this is purely flexible. It commits you to nothing. So just the option of being able to use TIF in this other location in the future. So procedurally, we've started the redevelopment mission. It's been approved by Planning Commission. It's approved here tonight. We'll have a public hearing by the redevelopment mission at their May meeting. and then we'll be all done.
Questions?
Mr. President, does this have anything to do, you and I talked the other day about Franklin Township's concerns. Does this have anything to do with that?
I don't believe so, not
Okay.
at all. That's talking about a fire district
Right.
being
Thank you.
formed and so on, and this has nothing to do with that.
Thank you.
No.
That's all.
Yeah. Any other questions for them? I know this, I won't say anything, yeah.
Yeah, so we're hoping for your approval today, so we can move it then back to the redevelopment commission, which they will conduct a final hearing and a public hearing. And so, a final public hearing on it, and so far, there's been no opposition along the way.
Yeah.
So, Mr. President, you wish for a motion on this?
I do.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve this, and I believe it's resolution number 2026-09. That's what it says on our agenda. Is that right, Ann?
Yes.
Good, thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Thank you.
Thank you very
And
much.
if anything else happens out there, meaning 39 and 70 or now up in the area that we've approved and so on, then that'll be next steps that would go from there as well.
Oh, yeah, we'll have,
Yeah.
obviously have lots going on, hopefully in and around the area.
Right.
And so that will all be good things, and we'd have to be back for other approvals.
Yeah.
And John will give you his routing number and his check number later today.
Correct.
Thanks only.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Adam.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Debbie Fletcher.
Good morning.
Morning, Debbie.
How'd you like that storm last night? Wasn't that fun?
It was excellent.
It really wasn't, but that's okay.
Slept like a baby.
It was a nice thundery storm. I kind of liked that. So the reason I'm here today is just to make a public announcement of the multi-hazard mitigation plan. The final draft is out for public comment. We have posted it in the Republican as well as on our website here for the county. But I just wanted to make sure that it was announced to you all as well. You had a copy of or I sent you a copy of the executive summary because the document itself is very large. And you can see it online. We will accept public comment through the 8th of May. And then once that's done, the contractor will make all those changes, update everything, and I'll bring it back to you guys for approval.
Mr. President, may I assume that the ham operators, do they have any input with you on this?
They actually, some of them were at the meetings. We've held 2 meetings. To give you a little background, we did one where we actually walked through all of the hazards that occur and did sort of a calculated priority risk index and identified things that we believe are higher risk to the county than others. I thought it was interesting that wildfires topped over severe weather, which seemed interesting to me, but this is people's opinions, not necessarily historic documentation, so. But we did that, and then we did a second meeting with the public and with others who, and the.
Probably asked because they're important.
They are very important, you are correct. And so they've all been invited to a lot of these things, so, and they're also obviously invited to make a public comment. So.
And Debbie, once this is revised and brought back and we approve it and so on, it's for 5 years.
It is for 5 years, correct. And the reason we do it, just for a little background as well, is that it gives us the opportunity that if we do have a large-scale disaster, which I'm not allowing, by the way, but
Good,
if
I'm
we
glad.
did by chance have something like that, then there are projects that are within this plan that we could pull out and use mitigation money from FEMA for that. That's the hope anyway. So if we have any areas, one of the reasons that John's office and others are invited to these meetings is obviously if there's culverts we need or levees or, any of those types of mitigation measures, then we want to put them in the plan so that we can pull them off the shelf real quick and say, here, give us money. So that's.
Mr. President, if I might. There's a proposed project at Pittsburgh, and it could be impacted by, it could impact FEMA. Who has the authority to say yes or no? Because Mr. Sturwell's made it really plain that we don't want to lose our FEMA insurance capability.
Right.
Who makes that decision?
I don't think I know the project that we're.
No, you don't know the project.
Okay.
but in general,
Oh.
who makes that decision?
As to whether FEMA will support it?
Whether you're in compliance with FEMA or not.
Oh,
Who makes that decision?
He would make that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I need to know.
yeah.
Thank you.
And we don't know who works there now.
Right, that's fine. Thank you.
So, but anyway, so that's the reason that you don't need to do anything. I just wanted to bring it to your awareness and have it be public, so.
And thanks for giving us the executive summary.
You're welcome.
Because it was several pages long.
It was like 3 pages long, but I did that
More
instead
than
of the
that, I
400 pages of the plan.
Thank you,
Figuring
Debbie.
you didn't need that kind of reading, so
All right.
thank you very much.
Thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Next, Dennis Eichmann.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Dennis.
I'd like to present to you Banning Engineering for the south parking lot revitalization. Some of the strongest feedback I've got from the residents and the employees of the county was to try and improve some of the parking we have at the government building especially. So I've got that engineering study we have funding for, and I also have the Otto's proposal for the the north parking lot to get it restriped and sealed and receiving area as well. That's also, the funding has been approved.
Okay, so you've already got this $37,400
Correct.
in your budget and
Yes.
so on, so,
Yeah,
good.
we're good. I made sure I followed up with Paula and Nancy and everything's
Great.
good to go. So I'd like you guys to sign off on that.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, and if I read this correctly, I think it's my signature on not all of
We
ours,
like
so,
those.
yeah, so.
My
anyway.
motion includes both.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay,
The residents
go ahead.
and the employees, thank you. And I thank you too.
Now, so that took care of both items on our agenda. Thanks, Dennis.
Yep.
And Dennis, things are going well?
Oh, yes.
How many months now have you been here?
It's going on too.
2? Thank you.
I'm plugging away.
Thanks for all you're doing. Appreciate it. All right, ALS Awareness Month. We have a proclamation for that. And this really deals with ALS, or as most of us know, Lou Gehrig's disease, and a proclamation for the month awareness because of that disease and so forth. So when we approve this proclamation, it will be for the month that brings to the attention of everyone. I could read the proclamation, but it's pretty lengthy and so on, so I won't do that. But that's what it's about, and just for everyone's understanding.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been moved and seconded for ALS Awareness Month proclamation. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. We also now have an interlocal agreement on our agenda, and this, when the Regional Sewer District Director retired, we moved all of that responsibility that was under the Regional Sewer District manager, directly under the commissioners then through Mila. And so this agreement deals with putting together Mila's responsibilities along with the Regional Sewer District responsibilities, and having that this put together in this interlocal agreement. It has been reviewed by not only Todd and Mila, but also Greg Sturwald has looked at it, and Rhonda Cook, who's the attorney for the county council. So when we approve this, we need to take it to the council for their approval, and then we will be moving ahead full speed at that point in time. And actually catching up on some of the work that has been done since January for someone who's been really involved in that and bringing them up to speed pay-wise as well. So Chair would entertain a motion to approve this interlocal
Move
agreement.
for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Milo.
Yes. Comments from the floor? Yes, sir. Please state your name, and we don't need your bank account number.
Okay, good. Mike Starkey, 9225 East County Road, 700 North, Brownsburg. And this is about the sewer district. It's just us, all of a sudden. No, I was contacted a couple weeks ago by.
You're here to compliment all the work going on, right?
Oh, yeah, I love it up
Okay,
there.
good. Okay.
By the way.
Thanks, Mike.
Talking about the work up there, I have to compliment John because this
guy?
This guy right here,
Okay,
because
all right.
this contractor is 10 times better than the other one. And it's nice to have 900 open when they're actually digging those ponds. I mean, that's just been, that's a lot better, so anyway. But anyway, I was contacted a couple weeks ago by the contractor for the installation of the sewer, and he was asking me for an additional 50 feet, in addition to the 25-foot easement that he has with the county here, for stockpiling the dirt, because for an 18 to 20-foot hole, it's like, I can't stockpile 18 to 20 feet of dirt on 25-foot easement. And so he's asking me, okay, I need another 50 feet. And I go, okay, where are we going from here? He goes, well, if you don't let me do that, then I'm gonna have to stockpile on 750 North and then haul it away and then bring back clay dirt, probably, and not my topsoil. And then also there's a fence in our pasture that they were gonna have to take down. So I'm glad Greg's here because is this really legally, can they do that? I mean, just to take our fence, even though it's not in the easement, just to obtain, if I say, what am I gonna get out of this, or how do I proceed? So I contacted Maya, and she said to give me the person's contact at Structure Point, who was involved with the granted easement, right? So my concern is right now, is this legally, can they do this? Can they haul my dirt away and bring back clay dirt and not put my topsoil on there? And then, we're farming the ground that the 50 feet that he wants to stockpile the dirt. And then taking the fence down in the pasture, I got cows out there.
Does this work outside the easement?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 50 feet more he wants in addition to the 25-foot easement.
I mean, within the easement, they've already acquired, they can take the dirt, I would think, and do fence and whatever, that should be written in easement language. Anything outside that existing easement would be a deal he would have to make with you.
He'd have to compensate you, I would think.
Yeah, he would have to make that deal
compensate
with
you
you
for that.
for the additional easement.
So the
it's whatever
contractor
you
would compensate me, so how do I go about doing that? I mean.
I think you would negotiate directly with him. Is he just asking to use your property and not offering you anything?
Right.
I think he needs to offer you some money to make his job easier.
That's what my thoughts were.
Yeah.
Another question I would ask you is, have they already started to do this?
No, he's talking about in June to do this.
Okay.
He's contacting the landowners in that area there.
Okay.
I have the biggest parcel. I worked with Jim last year to make it easier for him not to go on St. Malachy side because he was gonna have to tear up the sidewalks and everything. And I said, Jim, I got a farm field right here, it's be a lot more convenient. So that worked out great. I didn't have any problem with that. But when now he's coming back wanting 50 feet more.
You can impact your crop, obviously, and
that.
and your soil. I think there's clearly.
It's a temporary encroachment agreement, Mike. That's all you need. Then you can negotiate the terms with him, what he's gonna compensate you for.
Okay.
Okay? It's just a temporary, you don't need to give a permanent easement.
Right.
I can't give you legal advice, but.
Okay, I understand.
I'm talking about here.
Okay.
It's just a temporary encroachment agreement.
Okay.
And Mike, I would say that they need to if you've got cows in there and they're gonna take your fence down and so on.
They're gonna put another one up.
They need to put another secured area some way, or a fence up inside what they're taking down so the cows don't get out and all of that. So
I hope so.
That would be a part of the expense.
Okay.
So on.
You just gotta negotiate all that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But on an easement, they have to put the tops, my soil back, don't they? I mean.
Mike, I've been through this with the pipeline coming through.
Yeah.
There's a way that they can separate the topsoil from the subsoil
Right.
and then put them back accordingly. And you will have to watch, make sure they do that. I know that's not fun, but you
I
have to
think
be-
technically that should be somebody the responsibility of the inspection company that we
okay.
hired to ensure us putting it back the way we took
Okay,
it.
I'm looking at Chris back there and he said thumbs up on that.
I would think that's the inspector's responsibility.
But Chris is the inspector for, I mean, you guys need, the drainage, the sewer board needs to communicate that with the sewer
I
board.
just did.
Yeah.
Bring back his topsoil and put it back the way it
Yes,
was.
yes.
When do I come to the sewer board meeting next month and
I think that would not be a bad idea, Mike.
Right.
But
I'll come back.
we'll do what we can within reason to put your ground back the way it was, so
Yeah.
the farm and the yield is comparable.
And then,
And you negotiate for, if you willing to let them use it, tell them how much.
yeah. And-
Okay.
And Mike, if, do you know Chris? Turn around, Chris, hold your hand up so you guys can talk as well.
Is he the contractor?
No, he's
No.
an engineer.
Different project.
Special engineer.
Right, different, no, it's not what you're talking about.
this is-
So forget about Chris.
Okay.
Don't worry about
Chris is a
it.
great guy, but he's not the inspector for the.
Not like you, though.
Not like me, not as great as me, but he's not the inspector for the regional sewer project.
Okay.
Who is the
Structure.
inspector?
Karen with Structure Point.
Okay.
She's the one that's leading that project.
All right, I appreciate it.
They've got a good
All right.
construction team.
All right.
The
All right.
intentions aren't there, it's communication.
I don't,
Exactly.
Feel free to keep talking to us then as well through the whole thing
Okay.
if you want. And
that's what I wanted to
Our
hear. That's
intentions
the reason
are
I'm coming to you
just,
also, just
put
to
it
let
back
you
the
know.
way it was,
Yes.
and we're done.
I appreciate that.
there's contingency money in the project budget that can be used as well. So,
Okay.
you know, it's not like this is gonna be something outside of what's budgeted.
Well, when he said if I don't do this, let him do this, he was talking about stockpiling 750, and I, like, what? So, all right, on another note,
Yes.
you know, I'm not talking about the Dries deal or anything, but last month at the planning commission, you know, they sent an unfavorable recommendation, as you all know.
Yeah.
Well, it always comes up to me personally, and I hear from the petitioners that this ground's gonna be developed anyway, and I totally understand that. And I really credit Tim and everybody working hard for this comprehensive plan, the conservation area. So what I wanted to show you, my thoughts on putting on something on conservation ground, you know, besides, you know, putting 88 homes on 42 acres, you know, something like that. And Dennis got a picture of this before, but this is what I was thinking of what I was putting on conservation ground is, and I would be and residents would be very supportive of something like this. Because this would benefit the public. Eagle Creek Reservoir, that's a bird sanctuary over there. You know, it's one of the biggest parks in the United States, city parks in the United States. But there's a lot of bird watchers over there. They actually pull in front of my house. There's binoculars looking at my woods and everything. Something like this I would just love to see. Brown Township doesn't have any parks out there, zero. I would love to see some parks out there. I'd like to see a wedding barn out there. I'd be all over that, you know. So this is the type of development I would like to see in the future in a conservation area. But in addition to that, I have a picture of what I would like to see at the Ronald Reagan. And we can be very proactive on that. But that's a smaller scale, but something like this would be great to have up the Ronald Reagan and be proactive for that. go, John. With that being said, years ago, when Herschel Disney was around, this Ronald Reagan was supposed to be a nice corridor. I took my brother-in-law to the airport the other day. It took me 45 minutes just to go down Ronald Reagan.
It's not like it was.
It's not like it was supposed to be. But we have the opportunity now from 700 to 1,000 north to make it the way they wanted it. Instead of a bunch of all these warehouses, a stoplight every half a mile, whatever. 36, what a logjam. Why didn't we put the bridge over the railroad track in 36? I don't know.
I'll accept my part of the responsibility on that because we were so euphoric to get the bridge over the railroad. We should have just included.
Absolutely. Smart planning would be a lot better. But I just want to, since this is in an area that's an opportunity to make Hendricks County proud, put something like this, a sports complex of some sort, and we have the landowners up there that are willing to listen, and if we're proactive and present to them what Hendricks County would like to have, I'm sure they would be receptive to listening, instead of just like, I'm gonna take a warehouse and put it, next to Ronald Reagan. And then in addition, I'm gonna finish up with, put a nice entry sign up there at Ronald Reagan, or at 1,000 to enter Hendricks County from Boone County. And make it proud for Hendricks County, a great place to live, but a nice corridor, and we have the opportunity to do that at the time. That's all I want to say. And I want to make sure you had my letters, because Jack said you didn't get my letter.
No, I do not.
I just want to make sure you had.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it very much.
Can I make a quick comment
Yes,
about
sir.
one of the things Mike talked about?
You can.
As far as the land usage along the corridor with the warehouses, the original Ronald Reagan Parkway Master Plan, which was developed in 2004 or 5, something like that, gave land use.
I think it was 06.
Maybe, yes, land use recommendations and some templates for each agency to use. The problem is each agency, each town in the county has responsibility and jurisdiction over their own segment. And so what the towns do, unfortunately, in some cases, is totally out of the control of the county. And, the original intent was for everybody to do uniform development style along the parkway, but sometimes economic pressures in individual towns change that.
On the subject, may I ask a question, Mr. President? Sure. Who has control of the traffic signal at 200 and Ronald Reagan Parkway? On the timing of it?
Avon, I believe.
Because it is so 200 prevalent, and I sat there yesterday, and I think I had 12 seconds on the parkway, and it went red again. I respectfully
Be a little
disagree.
quicker.
I like that. Okay, thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome. Any other comments from the floor? Yes.
Morning.
Name and address?
Yeah, Anthony Gary, 5794 Courtyard Crescent. Had a conversation with a gentleman, and I didn't know the answer to a question, so I'd like to ask it and get better informed.
Okay.
It's my understanding on the Hendricks-Putnam County line, there's a bridge that crosses Big Walnut Creek that is out of service. And I'm curious what's the latest on that, and I can understand that that's a complex question, and I'll go sit down and hear you guys.
Well, no, you can stay there, Anthony, you're fine.
Okay.
That is out by North Salem.
McLeod Park.
And McLeod Park.
Yes.
And so forth. We have been in discussion with the Putnam County Commissioners because that bridge is in Putnam County. The road it's on is a direct road in, and a lot of traffic that does go to not only North Salem and all the businesses there, but McLeod Park as well. And so we have asked the Putnam County Commissioners to get cost estimates, et cetera, to fix that bridge or move that bridge if that's what needs to be done, whatever needs to be done. We have not heard back from them yet. And we have not made any decision on our part if it's something that we would like to do in conjunction with Putnam County or not. We don't know until we know some dollar numbers of what we're talking about. So that's where it stands, yes.
Mr. President, if I might,
Yes.
it's their bridge to fix,
Yeah.
because it's on
The
them.
burden's on them to
It's
get
on them.
some due diligence done for us to understand what
Yes.
we're really looking at.
Yes.
We didn't, that there might be an opportunity to participate, but
Right.
we're not gonna spend professional services money to help them with their problem.
Correct.
We've helped them in the past with County Line Road south of 40 and northwest of North Salem, but it was like a $30,000 or $40,000, not $30 or $40 million.
That bridge,
that, but-
that bridge is especially complicated because it's a historic structure.
Yes.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Anthony.
Anthony.
Morning,
Good morning.
John Taylor, Hendricks County Economic Development Partnership, 4 West Main Street, I can never remember that address, here in Danville. I met with Sunbeam yesterday out at I-70 and 70 West, and they're looking to build their next building. It's 632,000, I think, square feet, something like that, 5,000 square feet, one with the other. But two of the parcels of property did get into the TIF when the TIF was designed. And first off, we want to know whether or not they can start construction before we can get that into the TIF, or do they have to hold off to get the value of the TIF? And does that also affect their ability to get a tax abatement on the building?
Wow.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. We will enter your question into our minutes.
I was looking out for, see if Greg was still out there.
Obviously, for sure, but I think the answer is, at this point, that the Regional Development Commission, which is the RDC for Hendricks County, we are gonna go back to that entity. There's gonna be some, I'll call it revisions of the TIF in that area anyway already. And that new building will go into a new TIF area or a revised TIF area that will be shared dollars then with the developer for infrastructure and so on. Your question about should they go ahead with construction or not, or can they? I don't know if any of us know the answer to that, other than I'm not an attorney, Mr. Counselor, but my comment would be if they want to go ahead and start construction, which I know they do, because I've been talking to them as well, I don't see why they couldn't, and we put all that in a new TIF area anyway as it moves along. But I'm not sure how all that works. So if others at the table can respond, please.
Charlie Joyce is supposed to reach out to Bill Price to go over the procedures for that. And that just happened on Friday, I think, late Friday. So I don't know if he reached out to him.
I think there's
yesterday or
been
not.
some emails exchanged.
Bill talked to me yesterday, and he's kind of still in the dark, and he said, he called me thinking I would have the answer, and I don't.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. So we will be involved in helping you, us, Greg Garritas, whoever else needs to be involved in that discussion, and Adam Sturwald as well, about getting more firm answers.
Well, I know, like, normally with a tax abatement, you can't start something, you can't buy the material before the abatement's approved, and they've got a client for the building, and they want to get the building started in July so they can be in it by next year.
Yeah.
And they don't want to push that back a month or 2 months and not get the client in.
This is beyond us.
It's entered into our minutes, so
Okay.
we've got it now. You've asked, we will get some answers, okay?
Thank you very much.
Greg and Adam
Mr.
to
President,
have those
I
answers,
have
right?
a question. What's
And it is
the length
important for
of the
them.
TIF?
The length of the TIF,
Because I am not in favor of any of these TIFs that have the evergreen where they just keep rolling over.
No,
and over and
no.
over.
I want to say it's 25 years on
Oh, that's long enough.
some that exist,
And
but I don't know.
We are 50/50 pass-through, right? Okay, good.
That's the way that the TIFs in Hendricks County
Yeah.
have been set up.
Yes.
50/50 pass through.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm okay.
correct. I don't think we'll change that.
No, I
Yeah.
won't change that.
Okay. Thank you, John. Any other comments from the floor? From anybody? All right. Elected officials, do any elected officials? Yes. Congressman Jim Baird's office.
Good morning, Diane Hubbard from Congressman Jim Baird's office, and I'm here today because I'd like for you to meet Luke Thompson. Luke is an Avon High School senior, and he has been serving as an intern for the Avon Chamber all semester. And when I met him earlier in the year, he mentioned to me, he reached out and sent me an email and said that he would be very interested in not only learning about what we do in our district office, but he was especially interested in the county offices. And that is so refreshing because most people think about federal and state government, but he was very interested in the county government. He's hoping to go into real estate at some point. So we are focusing on offices that have a lot to do with property taxes, those kind of things. And I just wanted to let you know that every single office I contacted within the county that we thought would be good for him, they all said yes. They seemed very excited about it. So I just wanted you to meet this great guy and then also to thank the county for their usual Hendricks hospitality. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Luke, do you want to say anything to us, Luke?
No, I appreciate you guys for having me, and like she said, everybody's been open arms for me, so I appreciate everything that you guys are doing around the community.
What comes after school?
Right now, I've got 1 year planned ahead of me, so I'm gonna go to Ivy Tech for the following, I guess, year of school. It'll be my first year, I'll be a freshman there. And then what from there is kind of to be determined. I think I'm gonna transfer over to probably IU Indy and try to get a political science degree, so just kind of whatever follows.
Well, we wish you the best.
Yes,
And,
good for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate you
Thank
guys.
you very much.
Thank you.
Any other elected officials want to say anything? Okay. Staff reports. Mr. Ayers, welcome back from your vacation.
Thank you.
Nobody knew you were gone, so that's a positive
That's a
thing.
well-oiled machine in the
That's right.
engineering department.
That's right.
I don't really have anything. My memo to you is really short, just updates on some things, so.
Any questions, since John's only been back a short time, that we can stump him on?
I'm sure that won't be hard.
Okay. All right.
The call back to your previous meeting, the culvert on 1,000 North, the highway that we were talking about at the overpass that Jim asked about, highway did replace it last fall.
Okay.
That was-
Okay. Very good.
But it's noted, we need to stay on top of it and keep it cleaned out. It's
Yeah.
built up with debris.
Good. Dennis.
Twice in one day, I feel lucky.
Excellent. You
You
can come
guys
back
had-
even more.
You guys had a chance to look at my report. There's nothing earth-shattering. I'm just providing updates as we go. Good information. I'm plugging away, knocking stuff out. So let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you. Thank you for your report, and very good. I would say, let's see, where did I do here? Yeah, keep moving ahead on your lift truck thing that you put in there. Yeah, just keep going. So, yeah, it looks like you need to change some things, so. yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. Thank you.
Yep, you bet. Thank you. Mr. McCormick.
Most of my items are just for your information. I would highlight item number 6, performance reviews. Need to schedule dates and times to do those.
Okay. You also highlighted something else, and I'll make a comment on that. Christy Roberts, who is over our animal shelter now. I don't think Christy's in the room that I can
She
tell.
was sick yesterday.
She was sick. She may be off again today, but Christy, thank you for the work you're doing. I want to be careful with my choice of words. You kind of walked into a lot of animal poop, I'll call it, and so on, with what's gone on there. And we appreciate, Christy, what you're doing. hope you hang around with us for a long time because things are moving ahead well. Armand, we thank you for the work you're doing on the building, and Christy, the work she's doing to lead that group as well. It hasn't been without some difficulties and pain, so.
Well, Mr. President, I can share
Yes.
with you, we had our Animal Control Advisory Group meeting last night. It lasted 8 minutes.
Wow, wow, okay.
I'm going to encourage the president to review the agenda before he keeps scheduling meetings.
Okay, very good. That's it, Todd?
That's it.
All
Unless
right.
you have anything else.
Mr. Morris? You're gonna be brief also, okay.
Unless you have any questions. Leave on the ADA
Yeah,
stuff.
on your website, so, yeah.
Give us an opportunity to do a little bit more diligence now. That was pressured, but.
Looks like you've got,
moving forward.
looks like you've got another year, so
Obviously, they're telling us, don't take that year.
I think that's the point, right, yeah.
But yeah, it gives us
Right.
a little bit more breathing room.
Okay, good. Thank you. County Attorney, any, nothing? Wow, okay. Commissioners? Anything from us? I would make an additional comment. Ryan from Parks Department, Saturday, they had a ribbon cutting for the Hendricks County Bicentennial Tree Trail. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir, you did.
And so several of us were there for that ribbon cutting Saturday morning, and if I remember right, what you designed out there and is now open is 3/4 of a mile, something like that. That's in the park, Gibbs Park, and it was very nice, so thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for being there.
Yeah, wow, happy to be there. Barry Scott was there from the council as well, and it was a good event, so thank you. Anything else? With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.